Hello everyone and welcome to my morning report analysis videos with me, Rich Perry, market analyst at Handtech Markets on Tuesday the 7th of March. We've got a pretty quiet market open today. Equity's not really doing a great deal there. Sort of slightly supported, DAX mildly higher, FTSE mildly higher, CAC mildly lower. There's a very slight dollar, some element of support that's coming back into the market, and that's sort of holding up as these sort of treasury yields are starting to sort of regain a little bit of support as well. A bit of a sort of corrective move that we saw in the wake of Yellen, but that's sort of started to find a bit of support again with the 2-year back above that sort of breakout level of 130.40. And the 10-year just mildly ticking high. So it is interesting that we're seeing these moves. There's not a great deal that markets are sort of taking direction in front of a lot of key risk events. You've got the ECB on Thursday, you've got non-farm payrolls on Friday, and you've got the FOMC next week. So these are big events that the markets will be sort of worried or taking caution for, and subsequently markets are basically flat. There's, as I said, just a very mild element of dollar strength, and you're not even really seeing it on that dollar index, despite the fact that cable's lower, dollar yen's higher, euro's basically flat. So you're not really seeing it too much coming through on the trade weighted dollar, but it is sort of on the forex majors, the element of dollar strength. Now you do have the RBA, which is impacting on the Aussie today. RBA was fairly upbeat on its assessment of the Aussie economy, saying that the commodity price rises that we've been seeing in the wake of recovery in global growth is helping to support the Aussie economy. So subsequently, that the market is taking that as a relatively supportive and hawkish comment, and subsequently the Aussie is outperforming a bit today. Now in terms of what we've got to look forward to today, well, we've got the Eurozone GDP at 10 o'clock, then US trade data. Sorry, let me just get that going. So we've got Eurozone GDP, revised UB, nothing doing in terms of the revision. 0.4 and 1.7% is the expectation. 1.7% on the year-on-year, 0.4 quarterly. US international trade will be interesting. It's expected to deteriorate. The trade deficit worsen to 48.5 billion, and that is again likely to, I think, probably come with. I mean, Donald Trump loves to sort of get on his bandwagon about sort of currency manipulators, so that will give him another excuse to do that. But generally speaking, there's not a great deal to impact markets today. The API crude stocks do tend to have a bit of an impact on Wednesday morning for the oil price, and perhaps also Japanese GDP, which is 10 to midnight tonight UK time, could have an impact on the yen, but again nothing really doing in terms of revisions, really. Mild upward revision, in terms of revised GDP, 0.4% is the expectation on a quarter-on-quarter GDP for Japan. Now my chart today is the DAX. Now I've been looking at the DAX on the futures basis on the website, but in the morning report I looked at the cash numbers today, and we've sort of corrected back, and I can show you on this daily chart whereby sort of corrected back to this big uptrend, the 4-month uptrend. Back to the beginning of December this uptrend kicks in, and you've got the old breakout support 11,893. Now you've seen how 11,696 provided a basis of support through February. 11,893 I think could provide a basis of support through March. So you look at that alongside that, you've got the uptrend coming in and the momentum indicators which remain positively configured. You had a bull kiss on the MACD lines in late Feb, and we could be close to seeing that again. RSI's unwound slightly back towards 60. Stochastics remains positive, really. Despite a little bit of a cross, I think that's still a fairly positive setup on the stochastics. I think that 11,893 is a strong breakout level of support, and it gives you an opportunity there. You can see on the hourly chart whereby, zooming out, 11,700 has been supportive, and I think 11,893 to between 11,850 really, because if you look here, this sort of basis of these old highs around 11,850. I think 11,850 to 11,893, decent sort of buy zone. You've got the hourly chart, which has been sort of drifting lower highs, lower lows in the last couple of days, and there's a pivot line around sort of 1200 really in the last sort of two sessions. So if you break back above 1200, I think that would be a suggestion that the market's beginning to regain a bit of poise to the upside. You've got next resistance 12,058, and then the high at 12,082. So I wish you good luck in your trade today. I think the DAX is sort of not a million miles away from finding that support and regaining the upside move. So I will speak to you later. Thank you.